Welcome back to This is VANCOLOUR. My name is Mo Amir, and I am so excited for our final guest tonight. He is one of the best wrestlers on the planet. You've seen him compete in Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, WWE under the NXT brand, and now he's an all-elite wrestling AEW superstar. Hailing from North Delta, BC, he is Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle, what an honor, man. Thanks for being on the show tonight.
Oh, the honor is mine, Mo, and thanks for that thrilling introduction. I might have to have you announce me to the ring next time.
Anytime. That would be a dream come true. I would love that.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, with the emergence of All Elite Wrestling, which, you know, boasts high-profile wrestlers from Chris Jericho to Sting to CM Punk to Kenny Omega, I feel like wrestling culture in North America is changing as the WWE is no longer the only game in town, as it basically has been for the last 2 decades. So is pro wrestling experiencing a renaissance of sorts?
I think so. Like you were saying, there's AEW, and it feels like it was when I got into wrestling during the Attitude Era in the 90s, when there was the Monday Night War and WWE was taking on WCW head to head. And it was just a thrilling, exciting time to be a wrestling fan because there was just so much wrestling on TV and you wanted to see what one company was going to do versus what the next company was going to do. And it was just all very exciting. And in terms of a renaissance, I think there's definitely been a huge resurgence in North America. And it's an exciting time to be a wrestler and a wrestling fan.
So for the uninitiated, what makes a good wrestling match? Like when you're in the ring, what are you trying to accomplish? Is it the feats of athleticism or is it a story that you're trying to tell?
Yeah, I think it's a good mix of both. I think what we try to do is capture emotion, and that is to have a performance that a fan watching who has never watched wrestling before can easily understand what's going on. It's theater. You want them to feel what that guy is feeling and fighting through, and he's down, he's broken, he's out, but he's gonna rise up and somehow, you know, whoop this guy's ass. And I think people can relate to that. You know, oh, pardon my language, I forgot.
Oh, that's okay. So part of wrestling and part of getting people hyped up is promos, right? And so I'm just curious, like, what makes a good promo? How do you engage the audience emotionally? What's going through your mind when you're on the mic?
Let me tell you something, dude. No, wrestling promo is just, I mean, I was never really known for my wrestling promos, but it's something that, you know, it sets up the match and furthers the storyline. It gets people to tune in next week to see what's going to happen with this guy. Or it's something subtle where it's like, oh, that guy isn't really getting along with that guy anymore. I wonder what's going to happen. It's something that advances the story we're trying to tell and either gets people to buy tickets to a live event or gets them to buy the pay-per-view or it gets them to tune in on Wednesday night. You know, it's just, it's theater.
Now you're, you know, a tag team specialist, but you've also had, you know, some great singles runs as well in your career. This all is kind of a choreography between whoever's in the ring. So I imagine it requires a lot of trust, and whoever you're in the ring with, you know, you're both trying to, or maybe there's several people trying to elevate each other's game. Do you think people recognize that aspect of it? Because I think on the surface, they look at it as, you know, strictly a competition.
Yeah, absolutely. I think once you accept the fact that pro wrestling is scripted, I don't like the word choreographed because we're not rehearsing these moves. We're not practicing. We don't have a routine set. It's kind of just chat about it and you make it up on the fly. You know, it's a lot of improv. But yeah, it's you try and make your opponent look good. And once I think people understand that, they really appreciate the performances that the guys and girls are putting on. It's not, oh yeah, you know, it's fake, right? Well, yeah, so is James Bond, but you still get emotionally connected and invested, and you lose yourself in it because, you know, you want to believe, and that makes things a lot more exciting, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, you know, you look at Canada, we've produced so many great wrestlers, but I almost feel like Canadian pro wrestlers are slightly underappreciated. I mean, obviously you have, you know, the legacy like Bret Hart and Owen Hart. But then you have active wrestlers like yourself, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Edge, Christian, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Bobby Roode, the list goes on and on, main event caliber guys. But I don't know if the general Canadian public is aware of just the incredible wrestling talent that this country produces.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling, it's a very niche product, right? And I think if you are a wrestling fan, then yeah, Canadians are the best wrestlers. When I was a kid, the Canadians were my guys. They were the guys I cheered for, not just because they were Canadian, I was patriotic, but I thought they were the best. And like you mentioned, all those names you mentioned, some of the absolute best talents in the world, and we come from the Great White North. And I think as wrestling continues to grow, and people will sort of realize that, oh, where's that guy from? Oh, Canada too. Wow, there's a lot of them.
So, I have to ask you, I have to bug you. When is AEW coming to British Columbia, or at least Vancouver?
Oh man, I hope sooner than later. I really do, because best fans in the world are north of the border, specifically in BC, man. I've had some amazing memories of performing in BC. That's where I cut my teeth and came up in this business. So to return to Vancouver for AEW, a major wrestling company, would be a dream come true for me. And just to have all my friends and family be able to see me on a stage like that, at a level like that, would be absolutely surreal. Now, to answer your question, I have no idea when that might be, but if I had to guess, I would say probably within the next calendar year.
Oh, wow.
Sooner than later, I would think.
If you could pick anyone on the AEW roster to have a match with in Vancouver, who would it be?
Oh, man, the one guy in AEW I'd probably want to wrestle more than anyone would be Bryan Danielson. I think our styles would mesh really well together, and we would certainly bring the fight to Vancouver. I think that would be awesome.
Absolutely. I think that's a dream match for a lot of people. Hey, Kyle, I love to see a local British Columbian make a splash on the global stage, and you've been doing just that. So congrats on all your success. I know you're nursing an injury at the moment, but I can't wait to see you back in an AEW ring. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mo. I appreciate it, man.
Folks, one of the best wrestlers on the planet, currently working for AEW, All Elite Wrestling. He is British Columbia's own Kyle O'Reilly. Also, thank you to award-winning investigative journalist Sam Cooper for tonight's show. We will be back next week right here on Check, Sundays at 7 p.m. Find more This is VANCOLOUR on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and the Check Plus app. But for now, this is VANCOLOUR, and I'm Mo Amir telling you that in a province where you can be anything, be colorful. Peace.